The people that's like, yeah, I'm gonna try this dance so I can meet more women. Like, I'm sure that's out there, but how many of them stick it out in the long run?
Well, if you're talking about fun, you say, are they gonna stick it out for the long run to be great? Probably not, right? But are they gonna stick it out to have fun? Yes. I mean, how many people dance salsa to meet women?
That's true.
You know, and they're just out there having fun. It's not like they're joining a salsa team, performing and like memorizing formations and doing like aerials and everything.
Being salsero champion.
Yeah, you know, like they're out there. They know they're like 3 turns and they're having fun. They go out every night and that's it. You know.
All right, we are back with another episode of Left Foot, Right Foot, and today we're going to be talking about why men don't dance. It is a concerning one because if you have danced tango in LA, we're really familiar with our own scene. It is very hard to get men to actually join the dancing community. And we're not just talking about tango, but we've seen it across the board in other dances as well. And so we're going to talk about maybe some of the factors, some of the barriers, some of the reasons why most men are hesitant in joining this great dance that we all love and share. So I guess to start, I guess dancing tango, like for me, I never thought I would be a dancer. It was not on a long list of things. I enjoyed dancing growing up, but I'm gonna admit it, when I looked at social dancing, I always looked at the guy as being like not super masculine. I know that's like very stereotypical, but that's what I believe. That's what I grew up thinking. Like if you were like the dancer, it was almost like being like a male cheerleader. And I apologize for all the male cheerleaders out there. I know that, you know, all male cheerleaders aren't like whatever, but that's what I thought when I was young. You know?
Yeah. You know, for me, this is a little weird because like I actually always loved dance. It's because that's me. That's why like most of my friends were girls. that's
Maybe
true.
that's why I didn't have a lot of friends that were girls.
It's like for every like 5 girlfriends, I had like 2 guy friends.
Wow.
But yeah. Any which way, I've always loved dance, and I signed up for a lot of hip hop classes. I really was into choreography, but I also felt that too, where like sometimes, you know, dancing was attributed to gayness per se, and that's why I dove straight into like breakdancing, because it's like, how can breakdancing be gay? You know, you're doing air flares, you're spinning your head, you're doing like death-defying stuff. I mean, there's nothing, you know, that's like super macho. So I definitely dove towards that side, but you know, I always loved dance.
And we're not talking about, I don't think we're necessarily talking about sexual orientation here. I think we're mostly talking about the stereotype of masculinity and what we thought, what defined masculinity for us. And for me, I was a guy raised in sports. My mom loved sports. I grew up in a neighborhood that cherished and valued basketball, football, those kind of things. And so my definition of what masculinity were athletes.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I trended towards. And when you looked at dancers, even though now I definitely consider dancers as, you know, athletic and athletes, but back then I would never consider dancers athletes, and not in a million years.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the 80s, so like, you know, masculine back then was Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, guys with like steroid bodies. No, you know, and you know, WWE all the way, well, WWF back then.
Right.
So I didn't see like ballet as masculine. I mean, and there was that whole joke, even Jean-Claude Van Damme, it's like, oh, he's a ballerina, he's not a real karate guy, you know? So, you know, there was that stigma of dance and masculinity. And I think that was a huge barrier. But
does that still hold true today, right? Given all the expansive media we have and all the, you know, everything, because back then you only had a limited amount of channels you could watch. You didn't have the, you know, the World Wide Web wasn't super accessible. Now everyone has so much variety.
Yeah, that's true. But I still think I think it's more of a cop-out now, you know, because even in the 80s, when dance really wasn't that, you know, wasn't seen as non-masculine, because breakdancing was born in the 80s too.
Right.
And I think what it really was, especially like, you have all these athletes, you've got all these guys pumping iron, you've got football players, and I think the truth of it is that when you try something new, you fail, and everyone's afraid of failing, and not just failing, but failing in front of a bunch of people. I mean, you don't go out and dance in the corner and by yourself, like you usually dance in a crowd, you usually dance in a club, you usually dance, you usually perform in front of people.
Right.
So I think the real crux of it is really this fear of failure in front of a lot of people.
Well, I mean, you could say that for a lot of different things, not just dance, but I mean, I think the reason why men go to the gym, there is a lot of failure. You're gonna not be able to lift that weight, and you might not be able to lift that weight in front of people. Yeah. Isn't that the same thing?
No, well, the thing is that you go to the gym and no one's looking at you. So the idea is you're lifting weights and no one's,
There's people looking at you for sure.
Not really. I mean, okay, maybe one or two people, but it's not like an audience of 100 or whatever, But people have this idea that if I'm gonna dance, the whole club's gonna watch me. If I'm gonna dance, it's like there's a stage and lights are gonna be on me. So it's very different where in the gym, okay, yeah, you might be grunting and benching only 120 pounds. And people might laugh at you, you only have one plate on there. But at the end of the day, I think the gym is very supportive, and you have that macho idea where I think, when we talk about dance and we talk about failure on stage, people laugh and they turn away. There's no one going up to you and say, hey, it's okay, buddy, everyone fails the first time. Where in the gym you have this culture, you have this idea that if you fail, you're always like, hey man, don't worry about it. We all start with the bar. Or we start with the bar, don't worry about it, just do the bar. It's don't be a hero, just start with the bar and you'll get there. We don't have this idea, that culture of dance being supportive and everyone just laughing at you and you just running off crying and that's it,
I see. Well, I mean, so do you think that our environment, because I don't believe that either. I don't think that the dance environment that we have is turning off men per se.
No, well,
I just don't think we get them in the door. That's the problem.
Well,
it's not like they walk through the door and then walk out the door.
Well, I think it's a little of both. Because first it's getting people through the door, and generally I've tried to get a lot of my friends through the door.
Yeah, we all have.
And I generally the same thing. Oh, I got 2 left feet. Hey man, don't worry, I'll be in class with you. Don't worry about it. But I got 2 left feet. I can't But so it's just, if people say I have 2 left feet, it's this fear of failure already. And even if you're being supportive, hey man, don't worry about it. I'll be there with you all the time. I don't know. They need a little more than just one person just egging them on. And I think, so that's the first part. And the second part is, dude, how was your experience as a guy in tango? I mean, I don't know, for me, it was soul crushing for the first year. So, I mean, how many times did you try to get a dance and someone's like, oh yeah, you're a beginner, or and some people aren't like that, and but even if you had 9 people who were positive to you, but that one person really just nagged at you, that's as a beginner, that's what you focus on. You're like, oh my God, I thought one person just totally reject me, and it's the last thing you remember,
Well, I mean, my experience, so I had 2 close friends that were into tango before I did, and that kind of leapfrogged myself into it. Had I not had those 2 friends, I mean, you're probably right. I don't know if I would have even got introduced into tango, let alone stuck with it. And so that's hard to say, right? Because I did have a pretty unique advantage that most people don't have.
Yeah, but I also think that, generally it's also who you target too. There are people who are more susceptible to trying out new things. There are people who are susceptible to failing and being okay. And it takes a certain amount of maturity, and I think, especially now, there aren't many people who are at a level of,
just go for it.
No, not just maturity in life to say, hey, it's okay to fail. It's okay to mess up. Everything's just I mean, I was raised in a household where it's you gotta be perfect at everything. And I'm like, you can't be perfect at everything.
Well, our culture today, we stigmatize failure. It's on caught on camera. We watch the outtakes. We watch people mess up, and people love that.
I know. We have the failed compilations. And,
I mean, I remember acting on stage when I was younger. They were like, "Don't worry about it. This is only a one-time thing. Even if you mess up, no one's gonna notice." Now it's on the internet forever.
Yeah.
Right.
So there is that, and then, but it's also, if you look at the internet, it's how many people use that. I mean, Justin Bieber's first videos weren't great, you know, but like day after day, he just kept on grinding away and he became something, you know? And I think that's what it really takes is this, yeah, it's a maturity to know that it takes resilience, you know?
Right.
And because so many people, they fail and they run away and that's it. Like they're like, I tried it once, I'm done, you know?
Right, it's not for me.
No, and even, you know, even in something like for me, like I snowboard, I was an avid snowboarder, right? I put on skis the first time, I'm like, ugh, I mean, you know, it's the same, you know, it's just still sliding down the mountain, but I'm just like, oh, I don't know, it doesn't feel the same, like, you know, like it's not for me. You know, and that's the thing. It's like I didn't really give it a chance. So
then, is the burden on the teachers to make it more encouraging for people not to give up on their first week of tango? Is that where you're going?
No, actually, I'm not going with that. I'm just saying that. What I will say that in most things, there's a high attrition rate in general, and I think we need to accept that there's a high attrition rate.
True, but we don't even get enough people in the door to like even worry about that attrition rate.
Yeah, you know? but I think we're focusing so much on making people great dancers and not about making people not helping people have fun. You know, I mean, how many people go through the door like, oh, I'm gonna make you a great dancer, I'm gonna make you a great dancer, because we have this idea that greatness equals fun.
Well, I would agree. Eventually, it does.
Yeah, it does eventually. But like, how many people are willing to put in that work? I mean, it takes a lot of work to be great. Yeah. And you know, you could have fun. Like if you start having fun in the very beginning, you might put in the volume of time to then become great. But if you start off like, you know, you come to class, it's like, okay, you learn your salida, you learn your ochos, you learn whatever, right? And then this idea that you have to be great in 6 months. It's like, no, you should start having fun right away so that you could actually survive and then hopefully be great later.
But I guess the question is, how do you even make tango fun? Tango in itself, and we talked about it when we were talking about the maestros, talking about tango being pain, right, and suffering.
B said, tango is pain!
Yeah, so...
You must suffer! No, yeah, I love you, Gabby. Sorry.
I mean, there is some truth to that.
But I think it's in truth in everything. For any greatness, to pursue any art, whether it be sports or art, and you know, to search for greatness, it does take sacrifice and pain. You know, I mean, this is like the whole like Whiplash, you know, the movie. You know, it's like where Fletcher's like, where he goes, the most destructive word in the English language is good job.
Good job.
Yeah, because like if everyone just got a pat on the back and good job, they'd never reach greatness. So there is a little truth to that, but I think, you know, we need like that boys and girls club where everyone's just like that intramural sports where everyone's just having fun, and it's okay to mess up. It's okay to do the, you know.
So more casual, less serious.
Yeah.
Seriousness, is that the thing?
Yeah, I would say like the idea.
Lower stakes.
Yeah, lower stakes. Because like, how many people go to the Malanga and it's like, oh yeah, you're not ready for the Malanga yet, and like they get shamed out of there. Like, yeah, you should go back and take some classes. Like, this is not the place for you. Or you should go to a practica and like work on your stuff before you come out here.
Are those two things fun, classes and practica? Because that's the ingredient that we need to attract.
I think classes can be fun, and they can, and I think practicas can be fun. I think a lot of it, like the tone of both the class and the practica, comes from the people who are running it. Like let's take Robin Thomas. He runs a fun class. He's very successful at it, and I mean, he's not producing like national salon champions, right, but people are having fun there, and he's growing a big audience.
True.
So, is he successful? Yes. And is he successful in what he does? Yes. Is he producing champions? No. But does it matter?
True. That's a good point, right? I feel like in LA especially, we're so fixated on like producing champions, right? I think that's probably it.
Well, I don't think we're fixated. Well, okay, maybe we are fixated on producing champions, but I think the real gist of it is that we don't sing for people who help people have fun and get their foot through the door. You know, it's like, oh, who's your teachers? Are they a great teacher? Did they help you become great? Yeah. We don't talk about, oh, this person gave me my first steps, and you know, they were there to help me grow. But then it came time to leave the roost, and I found another teacher. You know, Edmundo was one of my first teachers, and you know, not too many people sing about Edmundo.
Elizabeth and Edmundo,
Yeah, and I even tell them they're one of my first teachers. I love them to death, and they really gave me the momentum to continue where I am today. So, without Edmundo, I probably wouldn't have continued with Linda, and I wouldn't have continued with other people.
Yes, but support and fun are do two different things. Now you're going into support, right? Emotional support.
Yeah, but I'll also say that it takes a certain amount of fun to get that momentum first, because why, if I'm going to have a hobby, if I'm out there searching for a hobby, right? Some people want to be challenged, and some people want to have fun and then be challenged later. Why would I want to start with a level 99 crossword puzzle?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the thing. It's I find fun that stuff later.
Yeah.
But I find fun in competition later.
That's
but
true.
In the very beginning, I'm starting at level 1, man. Give me a level 1 stuff and let me have fun.
Yeah,
Whereas
let me build it.
Yeah. Whereas I want my gold star, man. I want my kudo bars.
That's a good point, though. That's true.
Yeah.
We don't give people their level 1 puzzle to build.
Yeah. And in a sense, we don't have a level 1 Malanga.
In LA?
Well, we kind of do. Well, we kind of do, but it's kind of frowned upon, though. Because you're like, oh, that's because where we are right now, we kind of scoff at it. We're like, oh, yeah, it's not I like to go here because that's where the cool dancers go. And that's the thing with all the organizers. You want to show off and say, oh yeah, I'm the Malanga where we have all the good dancers. You know, how many people say, I'm the Malanga where people have fun and they get their that's where they get started and we're a hatchery. No, I'm all for that. I love it. Lindy Hop, we got Lindy Groove, and everyone knows it as a hatchery. Everyone knows that that's a place where beginners go. That's a place where beginners branch out, and then sooner or later they leave, and then they find other places and they find other teachers. But they also almost everyone starts at Lindy Groove.
Okay, so say I want to start a Malanga in LA. That's a hatchery. What qualifies as a hatchery?
Well, to make it more beginner friendly and beginner accessible.
And what does that mean? Do I play more nuevo music? Do I have a lower cost? Do I have what does that mean?
I would say all the above. Lower cost is one of them because if cost is such an issue, lower the burden. Maybe not be so strict on the codigos. Maybe introduce the codigos, but maybe not be so strict. Maybe play more pop music so people could have more fun. Maybe play more, alternative. Maybe play more. Maybe not have a 4-song tanda. Maybe have a 2-song tanda. Maybe not even have a tanda at all. Maybe it's just a song with maybe a little bit of a the little Star Wars as a little short cortina, just so people know, oh hey, it's a little Star Wars theme, let's get off, was it Mos Eisley Cantina song?
Yeah, Cantina song. I love that song.
but that's what I mean. It's something that everyone can just just kind of laugh and lighten up to. It's not so serious.
That's true. We don't have that. That's true. That's a good one.
I started with M3 as my level 1, and Emmett was really good because Emmett, I wouldn't say Emmett's a festival DJ status, but he did a good job, and he always had that Muppets. And everybody, oh hey, there's a cortina, all right, it's time to get off, and he didn't take himself too seriously. And he really focused on people just having fun, and we're all supportive and we're all having a good time. And when you get to a certain level, you didn't need M3 anymore. It's okay. He didn't care that you left for something else. And because over here, it's you leave for something else. There's it's been a long time since you showed up, Rob.
Yeah.
Tango needs your support. Tango needs your support, especially my Malanga. So it's everyone's guilt tripping. It sucks. It really sucks. So
that's a good distinction. The distinction between fun and good. Now, the only thing that's missing is that there are people that have to pay the bills. There are people that have to pay the rental thing. And in LA, it's hard to find a space that's affordable.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And so you might want to guarantee fun, but you also don't want to burn the hole in your pocket as well, trying to do that.
No, but it's high risk, low reward. I'll say that right
exactly.
now. But at the same time, there are ways to go about it. There are nonprofits that can help out. You could actually run it in a church, right? I mean, not to bring religion to this, but you can.
The tango religion.
Sunday church, go to Practica. No, but seriously, like you can go to a church and they won't charge you rent as long as you don't charge people. So if all you want to do is spread the gospel of tango, why not? You know?
That's a good point.
And it could be a hatchery. You know, I mean, if you just want to, you know, and in that sense, you don't need to be a great teacher. You don't need to be a great organizer. You just need to be someone who loves tango and wants other people to enjoy it and have fun. And I think when people get into the business of tango, like, you know, ego kind of takes over. It's like, I gotta have the best milonga.
Yeah.
I want to be the biggest and the best. You know, I want to be the best teacher. I want to create great dancers. I want to, you know, they don't talk about, like, I never hear teachers aspiring to being someone's first teacher.
That's true. I mean, the thing is, so I like the definition between fun and good. I think that a lot of people in LA actually would help out in a situation where you're trying to make a fun event to attract more people. Mm-hmm. But I will say there are a majority of people that will say they want more dancers, but will not do anything in support of that.
No, it's
just
true.
give me my milonga that I go to all the time. Let me enjoy my social dancing. I'll pay my admission and I'm good with that.
Yeah, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times the burden is pushed onto the experienced people to uphold and maintain the community. And, you know, the burden is for anyone who wants to pick up the torch, you know, not for, and it's not necessarily for the most experienced and best dancer. It's just for the person who wants to pick up the torch. Right. And you need to identify who those people are. I mean, you know who those people are. Like, those are the people who are always trying to bring their friends in. They're always trying to, you know, they're always asking how you're doing. They have their hello and goodbye rounds. I mean, I used to go in there and it took me half an hour to go around to say hello to everybody. And this is before I ran a milonga. And it took me another half, the whole joke. It's like, I'm going to say goodbye. All right, see you in half an hour. I'll meet you in the car in 45 minutes. You know?
Exactly.
Like, oh, you just danced again? Like, yeah, I know. You know, but those are the people you want to carry the torch for you. And I think there's so much focus on, oh, you know, I need superstar Derek to be my champion because then he's gonna attract the good dancers. And it's like, you know, we're in terms of growing the community, in terms of like supporting more men, it's about critical mass. It's more about quantity than it is quality.
True.
So I would say it's like, no, you know, I mean, you know, just give me anybody and everybody.
Well, here's the thing. We used to have the 3rd Street Promenade thing.
Yeah.
And how many people went out to that?
Well, a lot of people, when Modi was running it, you know, when Modi was running, it was fun. It was great. But now it's like, you know, like when you kind of need that cult of personality. You need that person who's like the glue to run everything. And, you know, when it's someone else who doesn't have that personality to mobilize people, it's rough because then you go out there and then it's like, it makes tango look even worse, you know, because here it is, it's like, okay, you got like 3 couples dancing. So 6 people on 3rd Street, right? A lot of traffic. And right next door is like 200 bachata and salsa dancers going, da, 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 you know, and it's like 200 versus an army of 6. It's like, ooh, that you know, and that really hurts. It hurts a lot, you know, because people then look at tango like, oh, that doesn't look fun. I want to go to bachata and salsa because like they get a side-by-side comparison. I'm not saying, and I'm not trying to like neg salsa bachata, but that's just the truth is like they do a way better job at recruiting people, and you know, give them props for that.
The fun aspect is interesting. I think some people will probably think to attract more men, you need more women. Like just make that the point, case in point, right?
Yeah.
If you put that out there, but how many of those kind of people stay? Well,
you know,
I ponder. Right?
You know, and that's okay. That's good. And in a sense, like tango needs that also. They need those people who are okay to have fun. Like, you know, they know their basic walk, they know like the back ochos and the front ochos, and maybe an ocho cortado, and that's all they want, and that's all they need. And then after that, they're just out there having fun, and it's okay. You know, it's okay, because like I'm gonna make this comparison to jiu-jitsu or any martial arts place, in that in a like karate gym, jiu-jitsu gym, whatever, 95% of the people are not champions. They're never gonna be champions. They're hobbyists. They're out there. They might learn some self-defense, they're out there to get in shape, they're whatever it is, they like build some confidence, but they're not out there to be champions. They're not out there to get into the UFC. They're not out there to be Olympic stars or anything, But those are the people who pay the bills. And I think, this fixation on greatness, we forget that unfortunately, greatness doesn't pay the bills. Greatness attracts people to your shop, but it doesn't pay the bills.
Right.
Because numbers pay the bills. I mean, and out of like 100 people, maybe five will be great, and like one of them will be a superstar, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So you need those 95 people who are like average to like meh. Sorry, no, it's true. Like because I do jiu-jitsu, and like we have those guys who are just meh, and then they're in there for 1 or 2 years, they drop out, and then you get more meh people, and it's okay.
So the question is though, then, do we really want a mass force of meh dancers in our milongas? Is it better to have a couple quality milongas or a bunch of just mixed mash?
I think you need it all. I think you need it all. I think you need the meh milonga, the beginner friendly milonga, the beginner oriented milongas, where everyone goes there. They're meh dancers, but they're really a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. They're mid at best. And that's okay. And then people and that will kind of fund the industry of tango. That's gonna fund that's gonna be your base, so that you can have all these visiting teachers. That's gonna be your base to have more marathons. That's gonna be your base to have more festivals, right?
Right.
But you have those amazing dancers, and they're gonna have their milonga. They're gonna have their Studio 54 over there. Yeah. They're gonna have your El Destino. Sorry, teen. I don't mean like that. Yeah. But you're gonna have that place where people are gonna aspire to go there.
Right.
But you do need that that Boys and Girls Club, the Parks and Recs of milongas for people to have fun. It's okay. There's not. We're not going to be like El Cachivache, where you're going to get red cards because you didn't cabeceo,
Yeah.
So, and people are just going to be there to have fun, and it's okay. It might not be great tango, but it's still tango.
That's a good point. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap it up here. If you were people in the comments, what do you think about making tango more fun and thus making it more accessible? Let us know in the comments.
And also another question, especially with the Argentines out there, how do you feel about that? Would that be changing tango so much that it stops being Argentine tango? Would it be then American Argentine tango?
Interesting.
Or would that be okay that's your starting point? It's kind of Argentine tango, but until they get the respect of the Argentines, you gotta go to your Studio 54 over there. Yeah. You gotta put your dues in, put in your time, put in your floor time until you get that respect. But until then, you're just tango, but not Argentine tango. Is that what it is? We want to hear from the Argentines also. What do you think?
But catch us on the next one. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Left Foot, Right Foot. If you can, click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can keep up to date with us on our newest content.
It really goes a long way with helping us create more interesting and exciting content for all of you, and we appreciate all of your support.